Hello, my name's Arrow. I go by they, them pronouns, and today is the same day as my last video, so the wind is a little bit unpredictable, and hopefully that's not too loud. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about my name, and what it means to me, like the significance behind it, and also some of the struggles I've had with changing it. So, I've been wanting to change my name for a while actually, but for sure as an actual idea, like, yes, this is something I'm going to do. It's been about a year. I originally wanted to change it just because it felt kind of off, and I later found out that it might have been related to the fact that, I was trans and non-binary, and it was uncomfortable to be seen as female, so when people used my name, people were more likely to assume the wrong pronouns, and just generally it was too feminine and didn't really feel like it really fit me anymore. But yeah, so I decided I wanted to change it, and I went through like a huge list of names and kept trying to find one that it might have seemed something that I kind of liked at least a little bit. And it was really hard for me because I kind of just wanted to be like, hey, this is just me. I really wish I didn't have to have a name, but you kind of have to have a name because I didn't see why it mattered so much to have that label, because really, when it comes down to it, I'm not my old name and I'm not Arrow. I'm just a person that word describes. But yeah, so I made a huge list, and the problem is that none of the words on my list jumped out at me. None of them seemed particularly right, and it was hard to picture myself using them and being called them. And I felt like every time I saw like a trans person and they discussed their name, it was something like, oh yeah, that totally seems like me, and it just felt like, that moment in Harry Potter when Harry gets his wand and there's like, that sunlight shining on him and just like the, and that just never happened to me. It wasn't who I was. So none of the names felt right, 100%, and it was just kind of weird. I mean, they felt better than my old name, but it didn't feel right still. So it was hard. One day though, I just was like, hey, I have to pick a name. I just have to do this. So I had been reading a book, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Universe, actually, which I just picked up off the shelf, and then it turned out to be queer, and it was just like, yes! So good! When accidental queer representation happens, it's like, never, but it was great. But anyways, in it, Ari says something about his name that has to do with like, or maybe it's just talking about air in general, but kind of talked about a bit of a metaphor with it, and the way people see air, and then it made me start thinking about air a lot. And the name Arrow was on my list, but spelled A-R-R-O-W. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to use that though, because it's so like weird. But I was thinking about that and thinking about a lot of metaphors of air, and I kind of wanted a name that was kind of like an object or something to do with the earth, so I could feel more of that like kind of connection. And I wanted something that sounded like really neutral, or almost seemed like it didn't have any connotation to it at all. Like didn't have anything associated with it already, because I thought, hey, it would be cool to just make my mark with it and not have that association. But I think it also makes it harder to relate to you because it's just a random word and you make the path that's relatable from it, So yeah, so I kind of thought about this, and then I had one day where I was like wanting to choose, and I was like, gotta do this, and then I was like, arrow, ha! So I was able to incorporate that, and I just changed the spelling. It's really cool, and I really like that. So Arrow, the first part, air, has a lot of metaphors, but talking about being non-binary specifically, it's so important, and it's so like, non-binary identities are so powerful and so valid, and and important, but people don't see them, and they're quite invisible in the world because of the lack of representation and the amount that people, like the lack of knowledge that there is. And it's the same as air, though. People, you can't see air, but it exists, and it's so important to life, and it's definitely there, and definitely important and powerful because, you know, it's kind of the thing the world runs on. So that was really great. And then, like, it's also having to do with, you know, just, it's such a crucial part of my life. And yeah, air is just such a crucial thing. So, O is the thing that people say when they realize that that part of my name has so much meaning. And arrow, the total way it's pronounced, it does feel like it connects me more to the world, because there's something that's very, like, the idea of arrow is very, like, connected to the world, in my opinion. Also, you know, it's going a direction, you know, like the actual pointy arrow, it's like, it's going a direction, and I want to keep traveling and keep going, and I think that that's a really good thing to have as well as a part of my identity. Also, arrows, like the thing with like bow and arrow, is they go towards a target despite resistance, and that's what I wanted to do with my identity. I wanted to be myself and go towards my goals despite what other people think, even if it's hard for me. So yeah, and I really thought that was important to incorporate in my name choice as well. So all of these different metaphors, but it was really hard for me to change it because it sounds so weird, and people already don't take non-binary identities seriously, so having a weird name, it's like, oh, you're just doing this for attention, it really gives them ammo. But it does have a lot of meaning to me, and it's special, and I like it, so screw you. Essentially, that's what I've had to do a little bit, but it's hard because it still doesn't feel like, moment. I never had that. It was more just the more I used it and the more people used it for me, because it did feel uncomfortable at first because I'd never had it used to describe me. But the more and more people used it, the more comfortable and natural it felt. And now it just feels like my name, and you know, it feels like just a part of me, and it feels so much more comfortable. I went to an LGBT plus camp, which I want to talk about too, which was so fabulous. But it was great. It was really fun. And no one used my old name the whole week, and it really did make me feel like, yeah, this is just my name. It's just natural. It never felt like super great, but it doesn't feel wrong like my other one does, you know? So yeah, it's weird, and it took time to get used to. So if you're trans and you're looking for a name, and you're feeling like you can't find one, and you're concerned about the name you chose because it doesn't feel perfectly right away, sometimes it just takes time, and then it'll feel great. And now I just feel really comfortable in my name. So anyways, I hope you have a lovely day, and thank you for watching. Bye!